Hello, and welcome along to today's solve for the Telegraph Cryptic Crossword. Today we're going to have a crack at the prize cryptic number 3335, which was published on the 21st of September 2025. So the Telegraph prize cryptics are a little bit different to the regular ones in the sense that they're usually a little bit trickier. Now that may be either because the clues are a bit more difficult to decipher, or it could be that the words themselves are less well known, less common words. So we'll see how we get on with that. But welcome along if you're interested in learning how to solve cryptic crosswords, or perhaps you're looking to hone your crossword solving skills, then you're definitely in the right place. So let's have a go and see how we get on. And we'll start, as we always do, with one across, which is clear bail due for release. Okay, so release could be an anagram indicator. Clear, less likely to be an anagram indicator. What you find, and what we always say with cryptic crossword solving, is that a cryptic clue typically has two parts. It has the straight part, the definition part, if you like, and then it has the wordplay part, which instructs you on how to come up with the answer. And usually the straight part of the clue is either at the very beginning or at the very end. So that's the first place to look in 75% of cryptic crossword clues. And I think this is one here. So if we look at this, I think that it's an anagram, but bail due is the 7 letters that we need for the answer. So I think that's where it comes from. And what if it ended able? It's audible is the answer. So audible means clear, so something you can hear clearly is audible. And it's an anagram, so release, as I said, is the anagram indicator for bail due. Okay, good start. First one done. 10 across. Running leg as performer may be. 2-5. So we're looking for a short word to start with, and then something else. Yeah, okay. So this is on stage. So running is on. Something that's on is something that's running. On can also be referenced by leg in cricket terms. So the leg side in cricket is also often known as the on side. But I think in this case, the leg is the stage. So a leg of a race, the stage of a race, a leg of a relay, or if you think stages of like a Tour de France, different legs, different stages. So on stage, and as a performer maybe, question mark, is on stage. Okay. Infants held close very soon. Okay, so again, taking our logic, which is the straight part, which is the cryptic part. This sounds like the cryptic part. So we're looking for probably a word for infant, holding a word for close, and overall meaning very soon. So an infant can sometimes be an imp, sometimes a tot. Yeah, tot. So the answer is tonight. So tonight is very soon, and close is nigh, N-I-G-H, held within tot to give tonight, which is very soon. Okay, 3 in a row. Hot and suffering, having a cold shower. Yep. This is hailing. So a recognised abbreviation for hot is H. And if you're not sure about abbreviations, there are some standard abbreviations for lots of words. The words have to be contained in a recognised dictionary, like the Oxford English Dictionary or Chambers or Collins. You can't just abbreviate any word that you feel like. But there is a standard set. And in fact, if you're interested, I've got a free downloadable PDF which lists 6 or 7 pages worth of standard abbreviations, things like H for hot, C for cold, the 4 compass points, north, south, east and west, king, queen, jack from cars are abbreviated to K, Q, J and so on. So lots of those there. If you're interested, as I say, it's in the description below. Just click on the link and that should automatically download a PDF. The PDF also contains an explanation of all the standard types of crossword clues. There are about, I don't know, 10 or a dozen maybe, and I go through each of those in detail with some examples to sort of help you along if you're new to cryptic crossword solving. So in this case, H for hot, ailing is suffering, and having a cold shower is hailing. Something when it hails, it's a cold shower. Great, first 4 done. Nude tutor embarrassingly expelled. Okay, this definitely looks like another anagram. The words nude tutor are a curious combination unless those specific letters mean something, which implies it's some sort of anagram in most cases. Embarrassingly is an anagram indicator. So we're looking for a word that means expelled from nude tutor. And we've got the ed for the past tense, so I think it ends ed, and we've got out in there. We need a 6-3, so a 3-letter word at the end looks like it's probably out. What does that leave us with? Turned. Sounds good. Turned out. Okay. 15 across. Allow relative little time. So relative comes up quite often in cryptic crosswords to refer to a relative, literally. So it could be your nan, gran, sis, bro. Typically, those are the sort of ones because they're nice, short 3-4 letter words that can fit in to make up part of longer words. And yeah, in this case, it's gran. And T for time, again, T is a recognized abbreviation for the word time. Gran and T for time means to grant, which is to allow. Okay, going well for a prize cryptic. This is a big one. Some expansion of the corporation. Okay. This sounds like a straight up cryptic. So one of the few clue types that doesn't conform to the cryptic part, straight part, is a straight up cryptic. And it's usually something to do with a play on words or a little joke, as is indicated by the question mark here, which implies it's a little bit tongue in cheek maybe. So this is just a straight up cryptic clue. And I don't know. So we're going to go on. Dessert, mine, I said. Okay. Well, I said is a homophone indicator. So it could be that we're looking for a name of a dessert that sounds like a word meaning mine. So mine here could refer to belonging to me, mine. It could also be like a coal mine. Mine appears quite often as a word to represent pit and coal mining and so on. No, don't see that one. So let's go on. Excellent cakes put back inside heater. Okay, well, excellent can be abbreviated to AI, meaning A1. So A1 is obviously the best, excellent. Cakes can imply that it's put around the outside of a word, so it cakes it, the verb to cake, or it could refer to cakes as in sponges and that kind of thing. But I'm not seeing that. I'm not sure whether the straight part of the clue either means excellent or heater. It could be a word for cake, a word for excellent with a word for cakes put back inside, so reversed. Put back is a reversal indicator inside to mean excellent, or it could be cakes put back inside a word for a heater to mean excellent. So I'm not sure about that. We'll need to get some letters before we can crack that one, I think. Let's go on. 25 across. Shape in question on a gondola. Okay, why is gondola? Yeah, okay, so this is a containment container clue. And so the straight part is a shape. That's what we're looking for. And it is literally in question on a gondola. So the N of question on a GON gives nonagon. A nonagon is a 9-sided shape. Okay. Taxing figure, hours in error. Okay, so error or in error can be an anagram indicator. So it could be the letters of hours in an anagram, but that's only 4 letters, and I'm not seeing where we get the other 7 from, unless we're looking for a word meaning taxing. So if taxing was the straight part of the clue, then we're looking for a word meaning figure. That could be a shape, some sort, or a number, or a symbol with hours anagram at the end. No. Okay, let's go on. Help fool through audition. Again, audition is a homophone indicator, just as we had earlier on with I said. So it could be that we're looking for a word for fool, a word for help that sounds like a word for fool. Or it could be a word for fool and a word for through, or a word that sounds like a word for through. So a word for a fool, something that sounds like through to mean help. Fool is often abbreviated to ASS, ASS, so maybe assists, IST, no, not sure. Okay, let's go on. Boy touched by feline tongue. Okay, so a boy is regularly used in crosswords and is often refers to either a lad or a son. So it could be either of those we're looking for, so lad or son. Feline clearly relates to cats, so it could be some other word for a cat, like a lion, or even Tom for tomcat. So or maybe it's a boy's name, Tom something. Or the straight part could be tongue, as in a language of some sort, or speech in general. No, not seeing that one either. Okay, well, after a good start with the across clues, we rather petered out in the second half there, but let's have a crack on with the down clues and see where we get to. 1 down. Servant in truth, stomach fed nothing. Servant in truth, stomach fed nothing. So I think this means a servant, or maybe even a servant in truth, like a sort of sage or a magi. Stomach could be gut. We've got some T's in the word, but we can't really fit gut into there unless it was at the end reversed. There's no reversal indicator. Fed nothing would imply that maybe there's a letter O somewhere in here. So if there was, it could be here or here, most likely. Don't know. Let's go on. 2 down. Soft material sensed. Yeah. And this is what we call a double definition clue. So we're looking for a word that means both soft material and sensed. And the answer is felt. Good. Possible covering for pig's ears. That doesn't impress me much. 2-4. That's a clever clue. So the answer is so what? So a possible covering for pig's ears question mark. And again, the question mark here implies a little bit of play on words, or perhaps a sort of tongue-in-cheek question or statement. So a sow hat. Sows obviously being pigs. So a sow hat, which when you break the words up differently becomes so what, which doesn't impress me much. So what? Inquiring in the capacity of sovereign. Yeah, well, the letters definitely help here. So sovereign is king, and a sovereign is regularly a king or perhaps a queen, or name of a queen, sometimes Queen Anne, for example. I think we had Queen Alexandra a week or so ago. In the capacity of is as, and so as king gives asking, which is inquiring. Okay. 20 down, Rani made shifts. So this is where sometimes the prize cryptics get more tricky, is that they reference other clues in the puzzle. So this in this sense, we're meant to be looking at clue number 20 down. And that's what sometimes makes these puzzles tricky, is that they reference other clues within the grid. And of course, if you haven't got that clue answered, it can be quite tricky to then work out the definition perhaps, or part of the wordplay. So 20 down is saucy thing getting into gear. So it could mean saucy thing, or in gear. 5 down itself, Rani is an odd word to appear, unless those specific letters are required for some reason. And Rani made is 8 letters. Shifts is an anagram indicator. Looking at the letters we've got, it does look like this is an anagram of Rani made, which looks like marinade. So if that's marinade, 20 down, marinade is a sauce, so that sort of fits with the saucy thing. So I think that's marinade. Okay. Measure up cube after first of hexagons. Okay, more shape references. Well, first of hexagons is H. Yeah, okay, so this is height. 8 is a cube. 2 cubed is 8. So 8 after H, the first of hexagons, gives height, which is to measure up. The 8 looks like donor, and I think it is, yes. So mafioso is Don. The leader of the mafia. Mafia boss is a Don. Otherwise is or. Don or, donor is a generous type. And that works sometimes in cryptic crosswords. Sometimes you get the answer from the straight part of the clue, and then you work back the wordplay to verify it. Sometimes it might be a word that you don't know, or don't know very well, and you can then generate that word by using the wordplay in that direction. And in some cases, like that one, when you've got 3 out of 5 letters, you can often spot just by looking at the answer, looking at the grid, what the answer might be. So this is another one. This looks like big something, I would suggest. And 9 down, yeah, massive. So yeah, it looks like big something. Commercial transaction. 3 down. Okay, so again, we've got another reference back to other clues. Fortunately, we've got 3 down. 3 down was this possible covering so what. Okay, yeah, so this is big deal. So massive, big, commercial transaction is a deal, and 3 down tells us that the answer also means so what. So what, big deal, in sort of colloquial terms, slang terms, very much mean the same thing. Good. Eggs. Eggs beginning with O has to be over, surely. Yes. So starters here is the operative phrase telling us to take the starter letters of on vegetarian's agenda, OVA, over, which is the plural of ovum for eggs. Okay, now we're into the bottom half, we haven't got very much at the moment. So let's see. A swimmer given a lift around small country. Okay, so this could be a swimmer, usually refers to some sort of aquatic life form. So it could be, it's often fish related, sturgeons and halibuts we've had in the past and so on. It could be a larger mammal like a whale or a shark or something like that, hammerhead or whatever. Or it could mean country, or it could be a small country. Small appears often as an abbreviation, which is S. So S is a recognised abbreviation for small, medium, large, as in clothes sizes, for example, SML, a recognised abbreviation. So it could be, given the lift around small implies that perhaps there's an S in the clue somewhere, maybe. And therefore it would be country, but I've got too many blanks, too many empty letters here. Let's go on. Feature on head trimmed beard. So this is ear. So the cryptic part of the clue here is trimmed beard, and what the word trimmed in this sense is telling us to do is to remove the outer letters, to trim it back. And if you remove the B and the D, you get ear, and an ear is a feature on a head. Okay. One packing plane case. So one is abbreviated to the letter I, as in Roman numeral I for one. Packing implies that it's inside, so I think what we're looking for here is a word for plane with one inside it to mean case, to like a suitcase or a briefcase, maybe with I in it. I'm not seeing that, so let's go on. 20 down. Saucy thing getting into gear. Again, this sounds like perhaps it's another sauce of some sort. Word for thing in a word for gear. So gear can be kit or rig. No, let's go on. Bar raised in dividing party. Well, bar is ban. Bar raised, if it was ban raised, it would be B-A-N. Bar raised in dividing. Or it could be in, the word in, dividing a word for a party. So party is often used to define a do. If you go to a do, you go to a party. No, it's not. It's bash. So bash is also a party. So it's bash with in raised. So raised in is in. In raised, dividing bash for party gives banish, which is bar. Okay. Warming drink, for example, with honour served up. Okay, so an honour is quite often something like OBE or MBE. For example, is usually EG. Yeah, so it begins EG, and then the honour is a gong, so a gong, a medal. Served up, so is a reversal indicator. So gong, served in reverse, underneath EG gives eggnog, which is a warming winter drink. Okay. Hot clothes, ending on queen, expensive regalia. So the ending here tells us to take the ending letter, the last letter. Now, whether that's the last letter of clothes or the last letter of queen, could be either of those. We have got the N, which could be the last letter of queen, or it could be clothes ending, which is S at the start on queen. Don't know. No, let's go on. A payment for Coral Island. Yeah. Oops, not a tock. A toll, atoll. So a payment is a toll, a toll bridge, toll road, and an atoll is a coral island in geographical terms. Okay. Giant predator casually bites. 4 letters. A giant predator is an orca. Yeah, there it is. So bytes here is a contains an indicator, and if you take the last 2 letters of predator and the first 2 of casually, you get orca. Okay, well that's a fair shout for a prize cryptic. First round of all the across and down clues looked at. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying the video today, please consider giving it a like. And if you want to follow more of my videos on solving cryptic crosswords, then do consider giving me a subscribe as well. It really helps with the algorithm to know that people are watching and enjoying the videos and want to see more. So that would be great if you could consider doing that. And with all that said, let's have another look at what we need to get this finished. So, some expansion of the corporation. 3, 4, 5, 6. A something E. In the middle. If that was age, middle age spread. I mean, middle age spread is an expansion. I don't understand where the corporation quite comes from, but maybe let's put the letters in and see if that helps. Certainly, and this is just a straight up cryptic, as we said. There's no straight part and cryptic part. So a sort of expansion is middle age spread as you increase your waist size as you get a bit older, as we all do. But I don't see exactly where that comes from. Let's have a look at one down there, if that was an M. Servant in truth, stomach fed nothing. Well, stomach is tum, colloquially. Yeah, this is so truth is fact. So the answer is factotum. And this is not a particularly common word, and this would be typical of a prize cryptic to have some less common words. I assume a factotum. I've heard the word. I didn't think it meant a servant necessarily, but maybe it does. But I think it fits perfectly with the wordplay. So truth is fact, stomach is tum, fed nothing, fed 0. So I think that's factotum. I think we'll go with that. Maybe I'll do a double check, and if that's not the right answer, after I've submitted it, I'll do a check, and if it's not the right answer, I'll come back and let you know so you don't make the same mistake. Right, let's have a look at these things. What's this one? Dessert mine, I said. Badge, budge. No. 27. Help fool through audition. This was the homophone of maybe through or fool. No, let's try 19, see if that P helps at all. One packing plane case. Yeah, I think that this is patient. So plain is patent, something that's plainly obvious, something that's clear is patent, P-A-T-E-N-T, and as we suspected, the I for one in the middle, packing it, gives patient, and a patient is a case. Okay, taxing figure, hours in error. Yeah, so this is onerous. So the figure was 1 here. I did wonder if it was a letter or a shape, but in this case it's a number 1, and then an anagram of the letters of hours gives onerous, which is taxing. Boy touched by feline tongue. Yeah, okay, so this is Catalan, I think. So feline is clearly a cat. Alan is a boy's name. We do occasionally get boys' names appear, not very regularly. Boy, as I said before, usually refers to lad or son, but in this case it refers literally to a boy's name. And Catalan is a tongue. It's a dialect, obviously, in Catalonia in Spain. Okay, so what's this? Saucy things getting into gear. It looks like it should end ing. Dressing? Yeah, it's a double definition. So a saucy thing is a dressing, like a salad dressing, is a sauce you might put on a salad. And getting into gear is dressing. If you get into your clothes for a night out, getting into gear is dressing. Well, it's certainly looking like middle-age spread. I think I'm going to put that in. I think that middle-age spread. As I say, not wholly convinced of how corporation comes into that, but I think with all the other checking letters, I think it has to be middle-age spread. Okay, what have we got here? Excellent. Cakes put back inside heater. Well, excellent is first. First rate. How does that work out? Cakes. Okay, so cakes are tarts. Cakes put back, T-A-R-T-S, inside heater, which is a fire. So clearly a fire is a heater, with tarts reversed in the middle, gives first rate, which is excellent. Okay, 23 down. Hot clothes ending on queen, expensive regalia. Yeah, I think this is finery. So hot is fiery, something that's hot. And clothes here tells us that it's around the outside of the ending of queen, which is N, as we suspected. So fiery, clothing the N of queen, gives expensive regalia, which is finery. So what's this then? Help fool through audition. Yeah, okay, so this is sucker. So it is a homophone indicator for fool. A fool is a sucker, S-U-C-K-E-R, but pronounced the same as sucker, S-U-C-C-O-U-R, and if you give somebody sucker, you help them. So that's help. Okay, 2 left. A swimmer given a lift around small country. Dominica is a country. How do we get that from the clue? Right, so the swimmer is cod. So a cod given a lift, so that's a reversal indicator, around small, and in this case, and not commonly, again, this is a prize cryptic, so maybe we'd expect slightly more difficult cryptic definitions, cryptic clues. Small in this case is referred to by mini. So a cod reversed around mini gives Dominica, which is a country. So what's this last? Dessert. Yeah, okay. So I was not thinking of the right sort of mine. The answer is bomb. Okay, let me just... so closing date is the 1st of October. Need to make sure I remember that. Okay. Funny error message come up on the screen there. Don't know what that's about. Anyway. So bomb. I was looking at the wrong sort of mine. I was thinking of a pit. But actually it's a bomb, it's a mine as in a bomb, a land mine, or that kind of mine. So a sound alike for bomb, B-O-M-B, is bomber, B-O-M-B-E, which is a type of dessert. Okay, there we are, just over half an hour, which is not bad for a prize cryptic. We had a good start there and then got a bit bogged down at the bottom, but most of those came through. I'll say I'll look up factotum. I'm pretty sure that's right. It must mean servant. It wasn't quite what I thought it meant, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And we've submitted it now, so there's no going back. So thanks for joining today. As I said earlier, if you're interested in downloading my quick guide to cryptic crosswords, it contains descriptions and explanations of all the major cryptic crossword clue types. We've had plenty of those today: containment clues, anagrams, reversals, all that kind of stuff, and also a comprehensive list of abbreviations to 1, 2, and some 3-letter abbreviations that's available in the description below. Just click on that. It should automatically download the PDF for you. If it doesn't, drop me a message in the chat and I'll sort that out for you. And please consider giving the video a bit of a like and maybe a subscribe as well if you're enjoying this and you want to see more of these. That would be good. Otherwise, we'll call it a day there. Thanks for joining me today. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever it is you're up to. And I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.